everyone. Welcome to the award ceremony for the New Haven History Day contest. My name is Rebecca Tabor Conover, and I am the state coordinator for Connecticut History Day, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this morning's award ceremony. I want to congratulate all of the students for a job well done. It's been a really tough school year, and you've worked very hard, and the judges have been very impressed with your work. And so for all of the students who participated, congratulations. I'd like to also thank all of the teachers and the judges who worked so hard as well. It's my pleasure to, first of all, thank the New Haven Regional Coordinator and to introduce him to this morning's award ceremony. I'd like to thank Khalil Quotap, who is at the New Haven Museum. He's the Director of Education. He also serves as the New Haven Regional Coordinator. And thank you so much, Khalil, for your hard work this year.
Hey, Rebecca. Thank you. And again, just like you said, I want to thank all the teachers and the students who did such an amazing job, and also the parents who helped out. I think they really put in a lot of extra time this year to keep our students on track. So I really want to put a lot of thanks out to them, and the judges, of course, too.
Great. Thank you, Khalil. And we certainly hope that next year we're going to be in New Haven and working closely with our usual host for the contest, Southern Connecticut State University. I'd also like to share with our viewers a nice congratulations video that friends of the program who were not able to be with us today sent in to add their congratulations.
Welcome, students, here now with the history department. All the members, everybody say hi, everybody wave. Hello. Good luck and keep learning history.
Greetings, my name is Juan Candelaria and I'm the state representative for the 95th District. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the students taking part in this virtual History Day event and wish everyone the best of luck.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, and I am thrilled to have this opportunity to once again extend my thanks to all of you for participating in this year's Connecticut History Day program. Do you know the history behind Connecticut's name? The origins of the state's nicknames, the Nutmeg State, the Constitution State, and the Land of Steady Habits? Have you learned the stories behind Connecticut's manufacturing or agricultural history? I hope that you have had as much fun learning and hearing about all the projects your peers submitted as you had doing your own. Each and every one of you should be proud of all that you have accomplished. Your participation in this effort has not only highlighted your passion for history, but also your commitment to education. I have no doubt that each of you will enjoy great success in whatever your future endeavors might be. My congratulations to all of you who won with your respective categories, and my very best wishes to all of you who participated. I hope that we will see you again next year.
I would like to also give a special thank you to the team who worked so hard here in the state office. This team has worked incredibly hard this year to keep things rolling with the regional contest, and that is Nicole Sousa, who is the person who answers all of your registration and submissions questions so beautifully. I'd like to also thank Cindy McManaman and Mariana Garcia for their hard work as part of the state office team. And I'd like to thank my colleagues in the CTN branch of the Connecticut Democracy Center for their hard work and making the award ceremony live. So without further ado, I know that what you all want to find out is who won. And just as a reminder, those of you whose names are called today, you will be invited to the state contest, which takes place officially on May the 1st, but the submission date is April the 15th for projects. And we will send out further information following the award ceremony. So without further ado, we'll start with papers. And I just want to say one quick thing. If I mispronounce your name or your title, please forgive me. I'm doing my best. So with junior papers in third place, the student is Isaac Klepner for the project, the first transatlantic telegraph cable. Isaac is a student at Worthington Hooker School in New Haven, and his teacher is Kristen Ben. In second place for revealing NASA's hidden history is Matthew Campbell. Matthew's a student at the North Haven Middle School in North Haven, and his teacher is Pam Kendrick. And in first place for objective journalism versus patriotic narrative, how misinformation was communicated to the American public during the Tet Offensive of 1968. The project is done by Maxie Hahn, a student at Worthington Hooker School. The teacher is Dr. Eden Stein. Moving on to senior papers. In third place, the student is Elena Muraka for the Tuskegee experiment, the purposeful miscommunication that created a tragedy. And Elena is a student at Wilbur Cross High School. The teacher is Alfred Meadows. In second place, also from Wilbur Cross with Mr. Meadows, is Elias Theodore for the 1968 Summer Olympics and the power of protest. And in first place, also a student with Mr. Meadows at Wilbur Cross High School, is Human to Demon, how American artists and the government villainized and humiliated the entire Japanese population. The project is by Charlotte Buderbaugh. Moving on to a new category, documentaries. We're moving on to junior group documentary. And in third place, the project is Infamy Speech by Suki Z and Saki Tamida, students at Worthington Hooker School in New Haven with Kristen Ben as their teacher. In second place, also students of Miss Ben, Eleanor Law and Claire Zaneskic for Lewis Hine and the power of photography. And in first place, students at Worthington Hooker School with Dr. Stein and Miss Ben, June Landfor and Maya Harpez Levy for their project, The Reindeer Express. Moving on to senior group documentary. In third place, the students are Marlon Kuhn and Youngin Kim for the Camp David Accords, how Jimmy Carter negotiated peace between two warring Middle Eastern countries. They're students at Wilbur Cross High School with Mr. Meadows. In second place, also from Wilbur Cross High School, for the project, The Salt March, India's March to Independence. The students are Kelly Farhardo and Lena Zenisach. In first place, also students with Mr. Meadows at Wilbur Cross High School. The students are Lily Gorin and Lila Klepner for Mistranslations, how one treaty led to decades of conflict. Moving on to junior individual documentary. In third place is Celia White for The Sinking of the Titanic, a student at Worthington Hooker School with Dr. Eden Stein. In second place is Sadin Thapa for The Power of Student Protest, SNCC's impact on the civil rights movement, and a student also at Worthington Hooker School with Kristen Ben. And in first place, the project is Morse Code by Sebastian Benashine. Sebastian is a student also at Worthington Hooker School. Teachers listed are Eden Stein, Kristen Ben, and Elizabeth Hart. Moving to the senior division of individual documentaries. In second place for the project, the Lewis and Clark Expedition, is Ailing Chalien, a student at Wilbur Cross High School with Mr. Meadows. And in first place, the student is Athena Brown for Carrier Pigeons, the Feathered Heroes. Athena is a student also at Wilbur Cross High School with Mr. Meadows. And this year, we were a little, the performance category in New Haven was very small. So a note for next year, if you are thinking of a category, think about performances. So for junior group performance, in first place, The students are Clara Causa and Zara Baden-Eversman for Communication Through Deafness, How the American School for the Deaf Changed History. They're students at Worthington Hooker School with Kristen Ben. We're now going to move on to one of our most populous categories, which is exhibits. For junior group exhibits, in first place are Sierra Miller and Bella Brown for Hedy Lamer and Frequency Hopping. They're students at Worthington Hooker School with Miss Ben. Moving on to senior group exhibits. In second place is The Story of Eleanor Roosevelt and Lorena Hickok, How Two Women Affected Communications Throughout the World. The students are Caitlin Flaherty and Anna Tavoletti, and they're students at Pomperaug Regional High School in Middlebury, and their teacher is Sharon Wodarczyk. In first place, Emma Williams and Caroline Parrott for Charles Dana Gibson and the Gibson Girl, Communicating a New Feminine Ideal for Women in the 1890s. They also are students at Pomperaug Regional High School, and their teacher is Sharon Wodarczyk. Moving on to junior individual exhibits. In third place is Molly Weinberg for the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire. Molly is a student at Worthington Hooker School with Kristen Ben. In second place, another one of Miss Ben's students, Anna Karatukin Perez for Anne Frank's Diary, The Diary of a Young Girl. And in first place is Anna Kim for NAWSA, NAWSA, The Fight for Suffrage. Anna is a student at Worthington Hooker School. Teachers listed are Dr. Stein, Miss Ben, and Miss Hart. Moving on to senior individual exhibits. In third place is Laura Lee Goodall for Spies Who Saved Lives, the Alice Network. Laura Lee is a student at Wilbercross High School with Mr. Meadows. In second place, Lee Miller, Communicating the Reality of World War II Through Photographs. The student is Mary Stiblow, Mary is a student at Pomperaug Regional High School in Middlebury. Her teacher is Sharon Wodarczyk. In first place, the student is Leah Trechton for Rabbits of Ravensbrück, the story of four incredibly strong girls whose letters brought justice to those abused and killed in a concentration camp in northern Germany. And she's a student at Wilbercross High School with Mr. Meadows. And now moving on to websites. In third place for junior group websites from Worthington Hooker School, the students are Giuseppe Festa and Oscar Monahan for The Miscommunication of the Pearl Harbor Attack, and their teacher is Miss Ben. In second place is the project Propaganda in the Great War, The Allies' Way of Communicating to Their People by Sami Zakin and Avinash Villakumaran. They're students at Rochambeau Middle School in Southbury, Connecticut, and their teacher is Mrs. Wodarczyk. And in first place, from Worthington Hooker School, the project is Breaking the Unbreakable, Cracking the Enigma Code by Lily Rosenblit and Chris Van Tassel, and they're students with Miss Ben. Moving on to senior group websites. The project is Ida B. Wells, the journalist who paved the way to justice. And the students are Kate Hahn and Nehithita Nelakatudi, and they're students at Pomperaug Regional High School with Sharon Wodarczyk. In second place, the students are Liam Quinn, Owen Broadwater, Michael Tudorlee, and Jonah Turner. The project is The Berlin Blockade, Understanding Cold War Espionage, and they're students at Pomperaug Regional High School with Miss Wodarczyk. And in first place, from Wilbercross High School, the project is Communicating Through Code, Elizabeth Friedman's crackdown on Nazi spy rings during World War II. The students are Kaching Tan, and Snina Maskey, and their students with Alfred Meadows. Moving on to junior individual websites. In third place is Elliot Pieper for Bletchley Park versus the Enigma. Elliot is a student at Worthington Hooker School in New Haven, and his teacher is Elizabeth Hart. In second place, the student is Reza Ashan for Edith Clark, and she's a student at Worthington Hooker School. The teacher is Dr. Eden Stein. In first place, The Telephone, A Never-Ending Invention by Nubid Islam, and the student is at Worthington Hooker School with the teacher as Kristen Ben. And now we move on to our very last category of the award ceremony, senior individual websites. In third place is Maura Garcia for Los Angeles Riots. And the student attends East Haven High School. The teacher is Joseph Marangel. In second place, the student is Nicole Latella for Psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud's Communicative Contribution to Psychology. And Nicole also is a student at East Haven High School, and the teacher is Joseph Marangel. And in first place, the student is Samantha Samo for the American Equal Rights Association, Communicating for Equal Rights. And Samantha, too, is a student at East Haven High School. Congratulations to all of the students whose names we called. I would like to just give a few last pieces of housekeeping as we finish up the award ceremony. First, I know the thing that everyone wants to see right away is to look at your evaluation forms. You can go into ZFairs and you'll be able to see your evaluation forms from the judges. You'll see a toolbar that says evaluations, and you should be able to access that. If you're having any trouble, let us know. We'll be glad to help you. For those students whose names we called, what that means is you are eligible for the state contest. You don't have to completely re-register, but you do need to go into the ZFair system to the state contest, and by March the 25th, which is Wednesday, you need to go in and just click yes to a couple of questions, as well as pay your registration fee and get set for the state contest. We will be delivering medals following the state contest, so you will get them eventually. It's just going to take a little bit of time. I would like to give a special thank you to all of the judges who spent time reviewing projects, agonizing over making decisions. We appreciate your volunteerism. That keeps the program going. And I would like to thank our friends at the New Haven Museum who are so supportive of Connecticut History Day. And I'd like to thank our major funder, Connecticut Humanities, for their support of Connecticut History Day. I want to congratulate all of the students who participated, whether or not your name was called. You are truly a winner because you persevered through a really tough year. So thank you all for attending and watching our award ceremony. I look forward to seeing you, hopefully, in person next year in New Haven. Thanks to all.